This motherfucker Todd said Fousey's at the No Jumper store right now on Kick with FPR, which I believe stands for Fat Pussy something.
No,
I don't know what the R would stand for, but that is not true because Fousey has been permanently banned on Kick, which was a little surprising to me because it does sometimes seem like Kick has like no standards and are willing to basically platform almost anything. But you got to think it from their perspective. Like I've seen mad clips of, do you know who Fousey is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Fousey screaming into the camera saying, I am going to unalive myself tonight. Like, if there's anything that's going to get you banned on a social media platform, it's that. Because then think about if 8 hours later he actually deletes himself, they're going to be sued into oblivion. Like that is the craziest thing you could do. That's like the number one thing you can't do.
Yeah, you can't talk about unaliving.
Yeah, you can't, and especially saying I am going to do this in the future.
Does he do that? Is he like Jack like Jess? Is he doing that like to have somebody feel like some type of sympathy for him or some shit?
I think he's actually like deeply mentally unwell.
So he ready to pop himself.
Which Jack like Jess probably also is.
Yeah, because he would said that he was doing to her head and his head.
Crazy shit.
But just to give you the Cliff Notes break, so Fousey is a dude that became popular maybe around like 2011, 12, 13.
I know who the cat is.
Yeah. Originally he was doing prank videos, had several notable public crash outs, one of which was on No Jumper, I want to say in 2017. When Sam Pepper was a guest. Who else did you have on there? Was
that
Shane,
that was the Shane Dawson interview that turned into Fousey invading the interview, which turned into Keemstar coming through to fact check him, which turned into Ice Poseidon and what's that motherfucker?
Sam Pepper.
Sam Pepper, the NFT scammer.
Sam Pepper.
Then they came. One of the greatest podcasts I've ever done in my life. It was insane. I was like smoking way too much weed. My mind was blown the whole fucking time. That would be good. Okay, so basically this morning, I wake up. Oh, see, okay, Fousey is a cap artist because
and this is what I wanted to ask you. This is what I was about to get to. So, like I said, he had this huge, insanely viral moment arguing with Sam Pepper. Keem was here, and this is right before he was going to have the FouseyCon event. He's talking about, I'm about to meet Drake. I'm going to the line, let him meet Drake. Which obviously we saw how that turned out. However, you made a statement, and you know, I'm sure you're about to get into it, where you're like, of all the things I would do to get views, fucking with Fousey is beyond my limit. Like,
I did. I responded to somebody and said that, and then coincidentally, today, Fousey sends me this DM. Let's show the screen. Headed to LA. I'm being searched for in Australia for assault. 7 to 10 years. I'm sneaking out right now. Going to be off the internet. Let's break the internet for my first thing back. Being an interview with you. No Jumper. It's time. Devil emoji. I respond. This is actually on Instagram, so I want to acknowledge this discrepancy. This is Twitter. He also sent me screenshots of his messages on Instagram. That's where I responded. I said, I'm going to be real. I wouldn't feel right platforming you right now. You got to get your shit together, man. A lot of the clips I've been seeing are scary. Now, for anybody, I'm not going to play all of it, but for anybody who actually has seen a lot of what has been said and done by Fousey recently, it is scary. He's clearly going through a manic episode. And as somebody who, you know, Fousey can't just be a pure lolcow to me because I've been around him. I actually think that he's a decent dude. Obviously, he's dealing with a shitload of mental illness, but I just personally wouldn't feel right platforming him, given that from my perspective, he's not just like going through a bad manic episode. He's going through a bad manic episode while also threatening to off himself over and over and over. He's fired like his whole team. He's just like acting so unbelievably erratic.
Siri.
Yo, he would honestly, it would be a super viral, crazy episode if I were to do content with him. And even a couple months ago, Aiden Ross and Sneeko, et cetera, they were all doing it and everything too. I personally, as low as my standards go, I would not feel right about it. So then Fousey takes my message, which I'm going to be real with you. This is like a very, like this message I sent him is purely sympathetic and compassionate to where he's at. I didn't say anything disrespectful at all.
I don't feel like you were unkind.
I just said I wouldn't feel right platforming you right now because you're out of your goddamn mind and it's been very, very scary. That's basically it. He said, you're wild. You, out of everyone, should know I know exactly what I'm doing, and I was hoping you would give me a chance to explain myself, but I guess you want to be a slave and politically correct. Can I at least fuck your bitch. Which is
Okay.
usually
You
that's
are a bitch. You didn't even say you're a bitch.
okay, Fousey, I know you're an immigrant and everything, but this is the wrong your. It's Y-O-U-R would be preferred. I responded, I would rather eat a plate of shit. You need to connect with Allah or something, you fucking kook.
Wait, Adam, before you go any further.
I wish you would just let me get through this, but Lush, you got to stop trying to jump in there while I'm in the middle of a monologue.
Keep cooking.
So then Fousey says, he puts out this
22. Hey yo, Adam 22. Hey, put the volume down. He needs to hear me. His peasant ears can't hear me. Adam 22. Hey, listen to me, you cuck. You let a black man fuck your wife and post the video on the internet and then interviewed him on the podcast and you're talking and saying I'm mentally ill? Brother, look in the mirror, okay? Repent to God, because the devil has his hands on you. And if you want to talk like you're talking online, Adam, I know the address to your studio. Tell all your workers to go home. Tell all your security to go home. Just have your wife there. Have her naked sitting there. Drop the Addy. I'll be there. Tell me the time. And no one gets to leave until one of the others can't. I'll do that.
It sounds like a rape threat. First things first. Have your wife there and we're going to fuck to the death or whatever.
It's kind of weird.
Fousey.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
And did you hear what he said? He said, the way you're talking. It's like, bro, all I said was I didn't want to interview you because I think it's so obvious you're going through a mental episode. And it's not like I'm just guessing that he's having a manic episode. I've been through this. You were locked up. There's some great content out there. You want me to show you a fucking video that you really need to watch at some point? Fousey No Jumper vlog.
This is amazing.
Shit, where is it? Maybe Adam 22 vlog would be a better thing to search because I don't think it was on No Jumper. Fuck. Oh yeah, I went to Fousey's event and it got swatted. This is one
I
of.
wanted to ask you about that.
This is not reek of compassion for Fousey that I was just describing because this is definitely me monetizing him having a mental breakdown. But this video is fucking crazy. Shout out to Lena. She made me leave this early because she did not appreciate the way that I was basically really enjoying seeing Fousey lose his mind. But yeah, man, Fousey, like as much as I told you you're a fucking kook, which you obviously are, it's like I was trying to look out for you because you're not well right now. I don't really think anybody should be platforming you. I won't hold it against them if they do, but
that's him, the muscle guy.
I wouldn't call him
the guy standing up.
He was in a lot better shape at this point. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Look at him screaming at Sam Pepper over me. This is like the most rewinded part, so it's fucking showing it.
He wasn't a muscle guy, but compared to what he is now,
yeah, he's a pillow boy now. Yeah.
So in those text messages he sent you, Adam, was it like before he sent the inflammatory ones, and he's like, "Man, I figured you of all people would give me a chance to explain my side." If he had just left it at that, do you think there was a chance you maybe would have given him a shot?
I don't want to have him on the podcast simply because, like, you know, it's easy to say like, oh, somebody's going through it mentally and therefore I don't want to have him on the show or whatever. Like, you could say something like that lightly. This is not that. He's fucked. Like, he's really in a bad place as a dude. And there is a tiny little part of me in the back of my head that's like, damn, you led Aaron Carter on the podcast a bunch of times when he was clearly going through something somewhat similar to what I think Fousey is going to. And I don't really feel great about that. You know, I feel like I could have probably been cooler to Aaron Carter and probably realistically, what the fuck was I going to do to get him? You know, but it's like when you have somebody on the podcast over and over and over and you're basically like creating this whole content arc out of them losing their mind. You know, I just wouldn't have felt good about it. So it's like, I was trying to have a conversation with Fousey on a podcast with him, I don't know, maybe like a year ago. And he made it clear that his team had instructed him that they didn't think it was a good idea for him to go on the podcast because it would probably end up making him look like a tweaker, which is probably true. I'm basically like taking their opinion at face value. And the way he keeps emphasizing like my wife doing porn with another dude, like, okay, I get it.
But that's what I'm saying. So
but what the fuck? I don't care about you saying that, Fousey. That doesn't do anything to me.
Before he said that, he was just like, man, I just want that shot. And I feel like that's probably why you wound up having Aaron back on, R.I.P. Aaron back on the platform, because he wasn't dissing you. He was just like, yo, like, people are looking at me this type of way. Let me show you, like,
me and Aaron Carter never had like conflict.
Right.
We were cool,
Right.
but also I was able to observe him and be like, like, I don't think that you are well right now. And I still kind of continued to have him on. Maybe I'm remembering it a little bit differently, because
you said
definitely
that,
at first he seemed all right. And then as time went on, it kind of became more and more clear. I'll always think about the fact that Aaron Carter was like giving me his possessions.
That's what I'm saying. He was very adamant about being on the show. He gave you paintings that he had, you know what I mean? He was very adamant.
You still have them?
It is in the other room. It's this crazy like clown painting that he gave me that is kind of dark and depressing.
Did he paint it himself?
No, he like bought it. Like it's like, but it's
But he
kind
specifically wanted Adam to have it, and like was like, to me, like, if Aaron had energy that was in any way like adversarial towards you, you probably wouldn't have been even allowed him on the pod.
But the thing is like Aaron Carter, like, go watch every interview I do with him. He was kind of holding it together. Like, he was funny, he was outrageous. But it wasn't like unhinged like the way that Fousey is coming off right now.
Yeah, Fousey is a wild boy.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, it is kind of crazy to even be having these sort of content arcs with Fousey, because when I was first becoming a YouTuber in 2013, 2014, 2015 type era, I used to watch Fousey and just think to myself, like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? And how is this so popular? How is he getting millions of views on videos from just like blatantly having mental breakdowns on camera in his vlogs? And still to this day, I see that and I observe that. And the only difference is that I just don't want to engage with it, because I feel like whatever he's going through, it's not something I want to make content out of. I know people, like some segment of the fan base thinks I'm like the worst person in the world, and I'm totally happy to like make content out of somebody losing their fucking mind. But, a lot of stuff. I interviewed Boonk on live while he was like basically fucking dying. I didn't want to, but it did happen. And in retrospect, like, yeah, I would have stood on business and said, boom, get the fuck out of here. I'm not going to interview you like this, even if it would obviously be super viral.
What's the young dude, Dump?
Lil Dump, yes. Honestly, I wouldn't have put that out if he didn't demand over and over and over that I put it out. Go watch the one I did today with Rel Vert, who's like homies of Bloodhound Lil Jeff and Q50 and shit. I mean, he falls asleep a couple times during the episode.
Oh, he's starting booze.
He's definitely Percocet augmented for sure.